let's move on to the other topic because of our time. Peter Obi's claimed that the federal government is seeking to undermine him as intensified debate about political freedoms and the role of opposition voices in a democracy. Recently, it said that the federal government is against him after his business, his political career. He went to the airport, parked, and then they said he didn't park well, whatever, all the stories. But Peter Obi is saying that he might not be alive to contest 2027 election. And people say, why are you whipping up sentiments? Because I don't know how much you're reading. Peter Obi's recent political gimmicks and utterances.
I think his frustration about movement on the political scene is getting to him. Peter Obi has turned himself to a big-time scaremonger. And I don't know what he intends to achieve by that. NDC has a court case. That court case predates Peter Obi's entry into that party. Yet he continues to say the ruling party does not want him to contest. Peter Obi car was clamped. We have seen the video of that car that was clamped at the Nnamdi Azikiwe airport in Abuja for parking where it ought not to park. And the explanation of Aviation and Aerospace Development Minister is very, very self-explanatory. You have no right to park your car there. If you must stop there, it's a drop-off zone. If you must stop there, your driver has to be in the car. But what did we see? Peter Obi's driver came down from the car, and his driver was a policeman. Came down from the car, went into the terminal building, left the car there, came out of the terminal building, went to the car again to pick something, and then went back into the terminal building. I've never seen any driver that lawless since I've been traveling, and I see people, they drop off their buses and they move away. Why should a driver park his boss's car, and move into the terminal building, leave the car there, come back again, pick something, move into it? Was after the second act that they decided to take action by clamping the vehicle. And Peter Obi didn't tell the world that after the clamping of the vehicle and the driver was told where to go to try and get the car released, he gave the phone to Peter Obi and they instantly allowed him to go when he should have paid a fine of 25,000 naira. If it was the ordinary Nigerian, he would have been made to pay 25,000 naira. Peter Obi didn't say that he peddled this influence and that after that he was allowed, the vehicle was released to him. He didn't say that. Instead, he said some other people parked there. So if other people are involved in criminality, if committing crime even becomes fashionable, shouldn't somebody who wants to rule Nigeria know that crime does not pay? Must you do what is against the law because you saw other people doing it? Is that the way to set example?
Interesting.
When he was interviewed, I would have expected a proper journalist to ask him to provide evidence of the attempt to destroy his businesses so that we can interrogate that. I would have expected the interviewer to ask him to provide evidence that they are even after his life because he said he may not be alive. Why would you not be alive? Do they want to kill you? And if they actually want to kill you, you are supposed to provide evidence. As journalists, facts are the tools of our trade. I reckon that not everyone who interviews people up and down is a journalist. But a proper journalist should be able to ask questions. If you tell me that Ibrahim Shita wants to take your life, I will ask why. Why did you say that? What did he do? But nothing like that happened. So the interviewer was simply saying, wow, like somebody who was starstruck. But you have a job, you have to ask him. And I'm not sure if he had been asked to provide proof or explain what exactly he meant, he would have been up to it. Now, we know that Peter Obi, we don't know many businesses that Peter Obi has interest in. But we know that his best known business
Next.
outlets is Next supermarket chain. What exactly has this government done to Next supermarket chain that would suggest that they are out to kill that business? It needs to explain. It's not just to sit before an interviewer and be reeling out allegations. You need to explain so that if the government is indeed guilty, we can then challenge the government to treat an opposition leader the right way. But again, it didn't explain. We all know that Next is doing well as a supermarket chain. We also know that Peter Obi has significant stake in Fidelity Bank. What is it that they have done to Fidelity Bank that would suggest that this government is bent on killing Fidelity Bank? We need information. That's what we are to work with as journalists. We need information because we know that you have significant stake there since his days as governor. When he kept the funds of the state in that bank where he has interest. That is a completely different story. But he has to tell us that this is what they have done, because I know that that bank is one of the thriving banks in our country today. I don't know how they are trying to kill the bank. He has to tell us. Or perhaps he has interest in other
Businesses that we don't know.
business lines that he has not told Nigeria about. Remember too that when we had the African CEO forum in Rwanda, Peter Obi claimed that unlike other countries who take their big business leaders to such events, that Mr. President didn't take business leaders. Whereas we had Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, on that trip. We had Elumelu, the owner of UBA, a bank that has 25 branches across the African continent in different countries on the African continent. On that same team. On that same team of the president, we had Abdul Samad Issa Karabiu, a big business leader in our country, who probably you can say that outside of Dangote is the richest and a big industrialist. He was on that team. And so many other people. Yet he claimed that they didn't go. So if Africa's big richest man is on a team, Elumelu is on a team, Abdul Samad Issa Karabiu is on a team, you will see they say they didn't take business leaders on that team. So who are the leaders? Is it you? So sometimes
Mm,
it will seem like he's just making these claims to draw attention to himself or just to try to cast the government in bad light. I'm not saying this is a government of Puritans. No, they have their excesses, they have their problem. But you must explain in detail how they are trying to kill you. You must explain
mm,
in detail how they are trying to ruin your businesses.
that's right.
Saying that they are telling people not to invite you to Owambes and all that. That that does not mean that they are after your life. That is if that is even true.
Mm, interesting.
So until he
Um,
provides proof of this and he explains this in detail, I think it makes sense to simply say that he's exaggerating things and he doesn't tell Nigerians the whole truth. Why didn't he tell Nigerians the whole truth about the about what happened at the airport? That he had to
that's
beg
right.
for the vehicle to be unclamped, and they waived the 25,000 that he should have paid. He didn't tell Nigerians that they did him that favor.
That favor. Amazing. This is what Nigerians are saying. Um, favor. Okay, I think this is talking about the old story. Paul Olufunsho says, "Thank you so much, BKO, for this detailed analysis. I did not expect less from you." Adebola Adedino says, "Good evening, guys, for keeping us updates on the situation in Nigeria. May Oludumare continue to bless our president and the Federal Republic of Nigeria." We have Olowo says, Peter Obi's politics lack of ideology is the reason he keeps online on every platform. Adewale Jonathan says, I'm not moved by too many messages are coming in. I'm not moved by Obi's sympathy seeking. Adeleke on top says Peter Obi will continue blackmailing the ruling party to seek for sympathy votes from Nigerians ahead of 2027 because his inferiority complex has emanated. I'm not so sure. Um, Favor Enwere says, Akimbola Onile says, it's not okay. I've read that. Benedict or Oigosa says, I don't understand why Peter Obi likes behaving like a child. Godwin Osato says, Godwin Osato, messages are rushing in. Obi is now becoming a problem to himself and his followers. He's not on the ground politically. Social media are noisemakers. Saeed says Peter Obi will no, don't say that. Onobanjo Ematu says, Obajide, where can I buy your book? Okay, that'll be addressed towards the end of the show. Lefty says PO always engages in sensational emotional blackmail to keep his followers glued to him. He will always play the victim for sympathy for those who can't see beyond their nose. Is he above the law? Okay, there are too many comments, on Peter Obi and all appearing very critical of the NDC candidate presidential candidate.